Hey Mateo, why are you playing Final Fantasy 1 now when you just did 4 a few weeks ago? Why are you just not going in order? How about you mind your business? Yeah, I went backwards, but Final Fantasy 1 is where it all started, the origin point. So here I am in 2025 booting up the Pixel Remaster of a 1987 RPG, and weirdly, it felt nostalgic. I was spotting Final Fantasy staples I've seen in later games, now in their raw original form. I'm Mateo Vert, your favorite backlog gamer, and today we're diving into Final Fantasy 1. What still works, what absolutely doesn't, and is this retro classic actually worth your time in 2025? Let's talk history for a second. Final Fantasy 1 launched in 1987 for the Famicom in Japan and later hit the NES in North America. And believe it or not, this was almost Square's final game. Square was in serious financial trouble, and this was supposed to be their last-ditch effort, hence the name Final Fantasy. But surprise, it was a hit. It sold over 500,000 copies in Japan alone and saved the company. So here's a fun fact. Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator, said that he would have quit the gaming industry if this flopped. Wild, right? You can already see the DNA of the whole series in the first game. Crystals, turn-based battles, job systems. The original game was bare bones. No cutscenes, minimal story, and a whole lot of grinding. But it laid the groundwork for everything that came after. The Pixel Remaster smooths out the rough edges with a clean visual update, a beautifully reorchestrated soundtrack, and some much needed quality of life features that make it feel, well, actually playable today. So let's start with the story. Alright, story time, and I use that term very loosely. Final Fantasy 1's plot is kind of like ordering a mystery box online. You totally don't know what's inside, but it's oddly satisfying. You play as the 4 Warriors of Light. No names, no backstories, so I named them after some of my bros. Corey the Monk, Jay the Black Mage, Daniel as the White Mage, and me as the Warrior. 4 bros just vibing, each of us holding a darkened crystal on a quest to bring balance back to the world. First stop, rescue Princess Sarah from Garland, a knight turned bad. You storm the Chaos Shrine, take him down, and the king is so hyped, he just builds you a bridge. Just straight up builds you a bridge. Then the game really opens up. You help a witch named Matoya find her crystal eye. You cure a sleeping elf prince, you deliver explosives to some dwarves, and you beat up some pirates so you can steal their ship. Classic Final Fantasy stuff if you ask me. Eventually you start fighting the 4 elemental fiends, earth, fire, water, wind, and restore the light to your crystals. Then the big plot twist, Garland's back. Turns out the 4 fiends sent him 2,000 years into the past where he transformed into chaos. From there, chaos sent the fiends into the future so they could send him back into the past so that while he's in the past, he could send the fiends into the future so that the fiends could send him into the past. And oh my god, my head hurts. So yeah, the whole game has been a loop and your job, break it once and for all. And before the final battle, make sure you swing by Bahamut. Give him a rat's tail. No, seriously. And he upgrades your classes because of course, dragons love rat tails, I guess. You go back in time, fight chaos, and save the timeline. Maybe. I think. Look, this whole time travel thing is just confusing in this game. But the final fight, that had me sweating. It's not deep, but it works. It's got that charming old school simplicity. And that simplicity, it's part of what makes this game surprisingly enjoyable today. Which brings us to what still works in 2025. Now let's be real. Playing a 40-year-old game sounds rough. But the Pixel Remaster of Final Fantasy 1 honestly holds up better than I expected. First, the music. The remastered soundtrack is phenomenal. It takes the NES era tracks and turns them into something you legit add to your playlist. Town themes, battle music, the airship theme, it all slaps. Next, the visuals. The pixel art is clean, it's colorful, and it somehow makes everything feel alive without losing that retro charm. I'm biased, but I think pixel art holds up way better than 3D graphics. Now, quality of life updates. Auto battle was a blessing, especially when farming bestiary entries late game. Quick saves, call them lifesavers, you'll thank them during those surprise dungeon spikes that try to ruin your day. But the biggest win in this game is simplicity. No overcomplicated menus, no 50-minute cutscenes, no crafting rabbit holes. It's pick your team, explore, grind for a bit, fight some monsters, move on. It's gaming comfort food. Now, with that being said, not everything aged like fine wine. The story is very bare bones. Like, your characters don't even talk, there's zero personality. It's all about quests, not the characters. The game also gives very little direction. Sometimes you're just wandering, hoping the next town has someone who knows what you're supposed to do next. If you're not using a guide, good luck. Oh, and the encounter rates? Brutal. You take 2 steps, then boom, zombie ambush. It gets old real fast, even with auto battle. Thankfully, the Pixel Remaster lets you turn off random encounters, and trust me, I use that feature a lot. And don't even get me started on the difficulty spikes. You'll be cruising through one dungeon and then suddenly get wiped out by some enemy using a spell you've never seen before. So yeah, Final Fantasy 1 is still fun, but it absolutely shows its age. You just have to meet it halfway. So should you play Final Fantasy 1 in 2025? If you're a longtime Final Fantasy fan, this is like flipping through a baby photo album of the franchise. You'll see the roots of everything, the jobs, the crystals, the epic boss themes. If you're new to the series, it might feel a bit stiff, but thanks to the remaster's updates, it's way more playable than you think, and it's short. I hit platinum in about 15 hours, and I suck at gaming. And Master of 1 Platinum, let's go. Would I recommend it? Yeah, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into. It's not the emotional ride of Final Fantasy VI or the cinematic experience of Final Fantasy VII. It's a fun, focused, no-frills adventure. For me, totally worth it. Not just for the nostalgia, but to see where it all began. And now the Final Fantasy IV video I made should make way more sense. Alright, that's it for me. Let me know in the comments, where would you start your Final Fantasy journey? With this one, or jump to a later title? If you have fun, hit that like button, maybe sub if you're feeling so inclined. Check out another video if you want to hear me rant some more. I'm also live on Twitch, still grinding out that Witcher 3 Platinum Trophy, so come hang out. Till next time, I'm Mateo Vert, your favorite backlog gamer, and you guys stay safe.